That's a lot bigger than the Jeep. Okay, so this is my truck. This is a 2017 Ram Rebel. I've had it for 5 years, and it's time to finally do a little bit of maintenance on it. It's basically been trouble-free. I've replaced the battery once. I did the brakes a couple years ago. I replaced a fuse once, and a light bulb once. I think that's it. So this truck has treated me really well. I drove all the way across the country with this truck, towing my Jeep. I've never once been worried about it not starting or not getting me where I was going. And I want to keep it that way. So it does have a couple things that I want to take care of. One of the common problems with these 3rd gen Hemis is broken exhaust manifold bolts. And that has affected me. So I've got some parts here. So this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the updated beefier manifolds from BD Diesel. I talked to several guys that did shorty headers from BBK and a couple other places. General consensus is they're all really low quality and crack after a year. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to get the best part that I can find and get rid of the exhaust tick. Particularly on the passenger side. The passenger side is worse, but they both need it. Before I get too far ahead, I guess I better make sure everything's in here that I need. New gaskets, hardware and instructions. And the manifolds. So these are a lot beefier than stock. They have the extra webbing right here, extra thick around the ports. A little bit heavier than stock, and they are made in Canada, not in China. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take the fender liner out and get ready to get the old one off. All right, I got the wheel and the splash shield and everything off here. And I got my bolts, the ones I can see. I got some PB Blaster on them. My truck has air suspension, so I've got a couple extra air lines right here that are kind of in the way. So we'll see if I can work around those. I did disconnect the ABS line right here too. This truck did come out of Nevada, so everything looks perfectly fine in terms of the hardware. It's not all rusted down to nothing, which is good. I still don't see a broken bolt yet. I don't see any broken bolts on this side, so I don't know why it's ticking so bad. It must just be a gasket, but I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling it off. Right after I said that, very first bolt that I went to take out is snapped off. Let's see how many more. Great. Okay, so good news. I only have that one broken one. I've got all the other ones out. I've got 3 still holding it on at the moment. I'm gonna buzz those out right now. That one. What sucks is that this is the easy side. The driver's side is going to be way worse. All right, last bolt. There it is. This should come out. Whoa, there it went. Oh man, that thing's broken off way in there. Crap. There's that. That top left bolt. Very last cylinder, very last bolt. Seems to be pretty common. Ugh, that sucks. It's pretty deep in there. I don't know, we'll see if I can get a welder on it. So I actually have the special tool to drill those bolts out. But looking at this, I honestly think just welding is going to be faster. I'm going to give it a shot. Alright, it's kind of hard to get a shot of that in there, but it's pretty low below the head. So it's broke off, not super deep, but it's down in there. So I'm going to try to build it up a little bit with the welder, and then I'll put a nut on it. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but I don't know how well I'll be able to see this either. Alright, I got a little bead on there. Let me see if I can put a nut on it. If I can hold this up there with one hand and weld with the other. Okay. Let that cool off for a second. No, it's gonna break the nut. Yep, okay. It wasn't solid at all. Alright, let's try again. That ain't on there at all. Alright, it took a few tries, but I think we got it now. It didn't immediately break off anyway. Oh yeah. It would have helped to get that nut centered, but whatever. It's coming. Got it. Alright, so I cleaned it up in there, the mating surface with a little Scotch-Brite roll-lock wheel thing, and I ran a thread restorer through that through those threads where I had to weld that broken nut or broken bolt, and it was fine. I was able to thread the thread restorer in by hand all the way and all the way back out. So I feel good. I feel confident that the threads are okay. Now I'm gonna get the new one in there and start putting stuff back together. Okay. Okay. I have it hung. Just gotta go around and put them all in now. Alright, I got those bolts torqued Now I'm going to put the heat shield back on, and almost done with this side. I didn't bother torquing those, they're not really structural, and I don't have a torque wrench, an inch-pounds torque wrench with a flex head, so forget it. Alright, just the exhaust, I guess mid pipes, down pipes, whatever you want to call them. Okay, supposedly that's done. Supposedly that's done. Alright, so I still need to do the other side, but I'm going to check this side for leaks before I button it back up. See the difference between the two manifolds? This has got a lot more beef to it. So let's start it up, check for leaks, and then hopefully move on to the driver's side, the hard side. Okay, I was really upset for a second with that exhaust leak, but all I had to do was tighten up that those couple of bolts around the exhaust manifold where it exits into the downpipe. I just tightened those up and that leak is gone. So moving on, buttoning this back up and going to the driver's side. I don't think the driver's side is really leaking, at least not that bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace it because I got the parts, and yeah. I broke one Christmas tree clip. Let me get a replacement. That's it. Put the wheel on, done. Okay, so good news. I got the driver's side manifold unbolted, and I didn't break a single bolt on this side. So I knew the passenger side was leaking. I wasn't sure if the driver's side was. Turns out I don't think it was. I could have just left this, but I already got the parts and I'm already into it, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace it, and then I won't be worried about it. I did have to undo the steering shaft. I ratchet strapped the steering wheel in place so that it wouldn't move. And this side is a lot tighter, so I'm gonna try to get this manifold out of here and hopefully not have to unbolt something crazy to get it out, but we'll see. Oh, thank God. Ugh, this side sucks. Alright, keep going, got momentum. Alright, new one going in, let's see how far I get here. Alright, I got it in there and I got it bolted up. I went around and snugged everything up with this stubby ratchet here. And, you know, in the torque sequence order. Now I'm going to try to fit my torque wrench in here and do 18 foot-pounds in the correct order. Okay, I got them torqued. I had to use a crazy long extension with a swivel on the end to get to a few of them, which isn't ideal, but that's the only way I could see to even begin to get a torque wrench in there. So, pretty sure that's done. I just gotta get the heat shield back on and bolt the flange back on. Check for leaks. That's PB blaster burning off. I don't hear an exhaust tick, I just hear the injectors ticking. Okay, so my camera died right as I was finishing that, but that last startup in that last clip, the exhaust was leaking, it was ticking again, but that's fixed. So truck's been outside for several days now. I haven't driven it, you know, in several days, so it's completely cold soaked. I'll start it up and you can hear that it doesn't have an exhaust leak anymore, and I'll tell you what I did to fix that. Okay, so it had a little bit of a belt squeal when I first started it, but it does that sometimes when it's cold and rainy outside, which it is currently, so I'll look into that later. But the important thing is that there's no longer an exhaust tick, no longer an exhaust leak. So apparently it's pretty common after you put on new manifolds that I don't know the technical term, but it's that bell section of the factory exhaust pipe where it attaches to the manifold, the exit of the manifold. Apparently that can warp over time after a bunch of heat cycles. So it's not uncommon for it to leak there after you swap new manifolds or a set of headers on. And the solution is to let it get really hot, you know, let it heat cycle, and then re-torque those bolts again, those two bolts that hold on that flange plate, re-torque them while everything's hot, and then it'll kind of re-warp, you know, that exhaust flange. Because there's no gasket there, it's just the two flanges coming together. So that's all I had to do on both sides, and it, you know, the exhaust leak is gone now. So finally done with that. I've got some more truck stuff that I want to do, but I'm going to work on this next. I'm tired of seeing it sitting in here with this caliper sitting on the bumper. It's bothering me. So Jeep next, and then I'll get on the truck a little bit more.